Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Sorry that I was missing in action over the weekend, which is generally when I post, if I post, or I post more regularly at the weekends than any other time. I should do something about my schedule, I think. But you know what it's like. Various things cropped up, but all is well now. And I wanted to show you the latest things that I've got from the Hermes Cosmetics collection, because I've really been getting into their releases. It's an expensive new obsession to have, because they kind of take it to another level, even from the likes of Chanel and Tom Ford. But I have liked most of the releases, and I've even got into their nail polishes, which perform really well, slightly differently from Chanel. And I don't think they will take over from Chanel as my favourite nail varnishes, because at the moment, whilst I love the colours and the formula, the finishes are all of one type. They basically do shiny, glossy finishes, but with no kind of special effects, shall we say, in the way that Chanel are famous for, with their duochromes, their monochromes, their shimmers, their glitters. None of that with Hermes. Just beautiful colours, I have to say, and good formulation, but boy, are they expensive. If you'd like me to do a video, sorry about this frog in my throat, I'm just going to take a gulp of coffee. If you'd like me to do a video about my Hermes nail polishes, which I've been slowly accumulating, I will. I haven't shown them individually. I also have quite a few of the lipsticks and a couple of the blushes that probably I've shown as and when I've got them, mostly. What I didn't show you when it was released last autumn, I think, certainly that's when I got it, was the first highlighter, which was the Or Permabrass. And it's still in its full packaging. I do tend to keep the Hermes packaging. The outer shell is less exciting than the dinky little mini orange boxes. These are much more flimsy than the original lipstick boxes were, for example, which are much more like the cardboard that the luxury goods are provided in. I haven't actually worn this, despite having it since, I think, about October last year, because it is just too beautiful, is the reality. So I'm just going to show it to you. You'll have seen it in various people's videos. I mean, how gorgeous is not only the Chanel engraving of their typical logo with the carriage and the horse that they're famous for, but the sheen on this, if one takes a little gentle prod, it is a very, well, brassy permabrass gold. It's not showing up perhaps as brilliantly as it might. It's looking a bit more subtle there. I'm quite sure you could make this subtle, but it's an in-your-face highlighting powder. I felt it was a bit like one of the Guerlain's ones I have called Sun in the City. So if I needed that colour, I could go to my Sun in the City. And at the moment, I want that to fasten properly, I am keeping this as a kind of collector's item, which I swore I wasn't going to do, but what can you do when items are too pretty? Now, they've got a new highlighter out. This is it. This is out of its box, because I have actually used it. This is called number 2. That was number 1. This is Mirage. And it isn't called an illuminating powder. It's called a radiant glow powder. There's the box for that. So they've called it something different, but it's apparent from the numbering that it's the same series as the Face and Eyes illuminating powder. But actually, I am using this as, so there you can see, quite different from no engraving, just the Hermes, not a glossy finish, a very nice feel, and you could definitely use this as a standard highlighter. It's quite a light gold, but you can see it's quite a gentle gold. And what I'm actually doing with this is applying with a big fluffy brush, this is my Tom Ford, all over the face after the complexion product that I'm going to show you. And it just gives a beautiful all-over radiance, which I don't think is too much at all. And it just kind of lifts the complexion. It's really expensive. I think it's about 70 something pounds for not a huge amount. 0.29 ounces, 8.5 grams. Pretty packaging, beautiful finely milled powder. I would say quite versatile because you can use it with a stiffer brush as a outright highlighter, or the way I'm using it as an all-over face glow product. But I can't pretend it's cheap, and there are lots of good similar products out there, but I like it. Then at the same time, I bought the Hermes Plein Air Baume de Teinte, so the Natural Enhancing Complexion Balm, which has an SPF of 30. And I know there've been kind of mixed reviews about this. I think a lot of people feel it's a bit overpriced for what it is. Some people were disappointed with the level of coverage. Some people don't like the smell. I absolutely love the smell of this, to be honest. What else? It's difficult to purchase because I think you can get it in Selfridges. You can certainly get it on the Selfridges website. I actually bought mine direct from the Hermes website. But otherwise, you'd be going into an Hermes concession, and there aren't many of those, to try on what colour. I guessed, and I went for the lightest colour, which is called 00 Amande. First of all, I was trying to get this to flip off. I thought that ridge there was the actual opening. It's not. It's a screw top. It was sealed when it came. Now, there you're seeing both the colour and the consistency. It's quite a thick cream, unsurprisingly, with that level of SPF. I'd say this has a kind of warm yellow undertone, but you can see as you massage it in, it does adapt fairly well to your skin. So I had been a bit worried that it might be too light. I generally kind of go for the second or third in colour graduations of foundations, but this is pretty forgiving, and it certainly works on my skin. Now, it's quite a thick cream. People have talked about the difficulty in application. I generally apply my foundations, or my preferred way of applying foundation, liquid or cream, is with a brush. And depending on the consistency of the cream, that kind of dictates the stiffness or otherwise of the brush. I have a number of foundation brushes. I never use a sponge. I really don't like sponge application of foundation. I sometimes use my fingers. I definitely use my fingers for stick foundation. And this applies better with fingers than with a brush. So I apply with fingers and then do a little bit of touching up, blending with brush. I think this is most like what I'd call a CC cream rather than a foundation. It reminded me of the Chanel CC cream. And in terms of the finish, their original formulation, which was also, I think, either SPF 25 or 30, they brought out a second formulation, which I think was a 50, and I was very excited for the extra SPF, but it actually didn't look as good on the skin. I think the higher the SPF, the more difficult it is for it to sit seamlessly on the skin. Now, I tried to dig out my Chanel CC cream because I didn't think I'd used all of it, but I can't for the life of me find it. So it looks as if I have. So I haven't really got anything else to show you by way of comparison other than the Trini London serum CC cream, which I also like. And you can see there, I hope, that this is definitely, it's definitely a different colour, but it's definitely a bit more liquidy than the Chanel Plein Air. The fragrance is mildly floral, powdery floral, I would say. I like it. I don't really smell it after it's gone on, but I know people out there on YouTube have commented that it's a bit intrusive. I'm slightly surprised. But there we go. I think this gives a nice, good level of SPF, natural look to the complexion. It's not giving you a whole load of coverage, but it's definitely giving some, definitely evening out, definitely a better level of coverage than, for example, the Chanel water-based, I've forgotten what it's called, foundation that we all love so much. Higher level of coverage than that, I would say, and you just have to touch up with a concealer if you're bothered about that. I wanted to mention in this same video, although it's getting a bit long, the seasonal lipstick releases that Hermes did. These are like lip balms rather than lipsticks. I started out getting this one, which is the Rose Nymphea, having watched a few videos. I knew it was going to be quite a gentle shade on the lips, but actually there is a decent amount of really pretty colour. Absolutely love this. It's the perfect kind of nourishing feeling on the lips, but with a little bit of colour to make me look my lips a bit better. There were two other colours. I thought this one, which was kind of second on my list, but I gave into, as you can see, was probably a waste of money because it was going to be a bit sheer. This is the Beige Dough, but again, so there you see it, much sheerer, kind of very coffee kind of beige, I would have said. But it looks really pretty on the lips, and it feels great. The other one is a kind of orange one, and I'm really tempted, but they're so expensive. I really like this formulation, but I have the Poppy Shine, which they brought out a couple of years ago, and I suspect the colour is fairly similar. The Shine formula has a little bit of kind of glitter shimmer in it, although it's not kind of glittery, chunky pieces on your lips, and you can see I wear this quite a lot. It just looks really pretty on the lips, and again, a nice formula. But this one I absolutely love. But I'm really liking these three, I have to say. And yeah, I love the luxury of the Hermes lip products. So there we go. The Hermes Plein Air, it's a thumbs up from me. I think I'll wear it quite a lot for kind of more casual outdoor days, particularly in the spring and summer, giving me a decent bit of protection, evening out skin tone, and just feeling really nice. And with the powder dusted over, giving a really kind of pretty lift to the skin. So I'm a fan. So if you've got to the end of this monologue, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. I'd love to have you on the channel. And until next time, bye for now.